7 minus 2x, 2x minus 7. Not the same. Do you remember the -1 technique? The -1 technique told us that a minus b over b minus a equals -1. And that's what we have in this problem. The answer is -1 automatically. Subtraction is not commutative, so 7 minus 2x and 2x minus 7 are not equal to each other. They're opposite in sign. Number 13. In order to add fractions, we need a common denominator. In order to find that common denominator, we need to factor each of these separately. Second fraction, 3 times y plus 3. Now, finding the common denominator, it's got to have both parentheses on it to make the first fraction happy. But the second fraction says, yeah, I like the y plus 3, but I need a 3 out front for me to be able to get into that. So here we go. First fraction. The 3 is new down below, so we multiply that 2 up there by 3 to get a 6. Plus, next fraction down below, the y plus 1 is new. So 1 times y plus 1 gives us y plus 1. We're going to have y plus 7 over 3 times y plus 3 times y plus 1. Okay, there we go. Subtraction. Again, we need a common denominator, and this one will factor into the difference of two squares. And that difference of two squares, x plus 2 times x minus 2, will end up being the common denominator. So the first fraction had an x up above. Down below, the x minus 2 got multiplied by an x plus 2, so the numerator will get multiplied by an x plus 2 also. In the second fraction, there was no change down below, so there's no change up above. We distribute up in the numerator, getting x squared plus 2x minus the 8 that's already there. And then we factor the numerator. It factors into x plus 4 times x minus 2 over the x plus 2 times x minus 2. And this is when we are allowed to cancel, when we have a common factor in both the numerator and the denominator. So our answer to this problem is going to be x plus 4 over x plus 2. Okay, we now have a literal equation, in which case we're solving for the variable they tell us to solve for, which in this case is h. We're going to clear the fractions by multiplying through by the least common denominator, 3h. On the left, the h's cancel, leaving 3v, and on the right, the 3's cancel, leaving pi r squared times the h. If we want the h by itself and it's been multiplied by all this other stuff in front, we want to divide that other stuff in front off. So on the right, we're going to have equals h, and on the left, the 3v will be divided by the pi r squared. I'm trying to talk fast, guys, to get you through this, yet at the same time enunciate, and sometimes it gets a little difficult. With a complex fraction, we look at our 4 mini denominators. The left things are both over 1, so we're going to be multiplying through by m over m and distributing it through to each fraction. On the top left, there's nothing to cancel with, so we just have 1 times m, which is m. In the second fraction, the m's cancel, just leaving minus 4. Down below, nothing to cancel with, so m times the m that distributes to it, giving m squared. Bottom right, the m's cancel, leaving minus 16. And you can kind of see what's happening next. We keep the m minus 4 in the numerator. The denominator factors into m minus 4 times m plus 4. And then we cancel 1 over 1. Don't say the answer is m plus 4. It really is 1 over m plus 4. We don't want to lose that numerator. Okay, we notice the third denominator. If we factor it, we get the other two denominators. That happens quite frequently. So we're going to multiply through by the least common denominator, c minus 2 times c plus 1. In the first fraction, we had a 3 up top. After the c minus 2's cancel, we multiply it by the c plus 1 that's left over, minus, then the c plus 1's cancel, leaving c minus 2. Notice the parentheses so that I can distribute that negative. Equals, on the right, everything cancels, just leaving the 7 up above. Now we're going to do some distribution, including with that negative. We get 3c plus 3 minus c plus 2 equals 7. Combining like terms, both sets of them, we get 3c minus c, which is 2c. 3 plus 2 is 5, equals the 7. Subtract off the 5 from each side, we get 2, and therefore c equals 1. Negative 1 would have been a bad value because it would have created a 0 in the denominator, but positive 1 is just fine, so we're going to assume that that is our answer. Finally, here we go. 2 machines producing aluminum cans. Newer machine can produce 4,200 cans in 210 minutes. Old machine 280 minutes to produce this if they work together. It's one of those work problems. Fraction plus fraction equals 1. Now, the number 4,200 is there just to confuse you. That just means a complete job. We don't need that. The alone times are 210 and 280. How long will it take if they work together? That's the x we're looking for. Now I happen to notice that 70 goes into each of these, and that's 70 times 3 and 70 times 4. So I think 70 times 12, which will be 840, will be our least common denominator. On the left, 210 goes into that 4 times, so we have 4x. 280 goes in 3 times, so we have 3x. 1 times 840 is 840. 7x equals 840. Dividing by 7, we get 120. It will take 120 minutes, also known as 2 hours, in case we had to change the units. Slide that up a little bit. There we go. Good luck, guys.